So I may or may not have mentioned this before. I know I did with the flooring. When you're doing a project, if it's possible for you to have 2 drills, go for it. Because it makes things so much easier when you're using different bit sizes. One thing on this, finishing Lonnie's cabinet. Okay, so this hardware I saved and gently wiped the lacquer varnish off of. So they basically sprayed the entire house. There's overspray everywhere with the varnish. I got it off as gently as I could because I didn't want to mess up the black, because I thought that the black would go really great with the dark metal of the ceiling tiles and kind of keep carrying that. Also, black and white is trending. That high contrast look is trending, and I do think that even though I have not ever been one to use black before, I do think it gives a really clean and classy look against such a light color. So I do like that a lot. I'm not exactly pleased with how the edges of the paint turned out. I think if I were to do a project like this again, first of all, I would not use Kilz brand. I would use Zwinner Bullseye.
Zwinner.
I would use Zwinner, which I've used 1 can of this whole time. But it sticks way better. It gives a much smoother finish. It comes out of the bottle better. It doesn't stink as bad. Zwinner is the way to go. I wish that I wouldn't have learned this the hard way, because I painted my whole house with Kilz and let it air out for a few months, and I wish that I would have known or done more research. I'd used Kilz before, and I felt like that was a good product, but I have a lot of spots where I have to go and paint over again. That's another thing, the paint. I used a lower grade paint and primer mixed together. I'm not going to say the brand because I don't want to hurt their feelings, because it was my decision to use the cheap paint. But I think in a tiny house, because it is tiny, it warrants not cutting corners. You know, save money where you can. Obviously, I know I did. But use good paint, because it's what you're going to look at every day. Use good insulation, because it's going to affect your home every day. So anyway, here's the cabinet. It's done. Lonnie's cabinet. It's called Lonnie's cabinet because Lonnie Price lived here, and he kept his secret stash of special pennies in this cabinet. And so I will continue to call it Lonnie's cabinet for the rest of the time that I live here. And one other thing, when you're hanging cabinet doors, okay, so I have this so down low. I have this on a 1. That's low enough that I can't even take the bit out. I have to go up to take the bit out. That's how gentle I'm keeping the drill. Because first of all, these are 60 years old. They will rip apart. Secondly, you don't want to strip out this soft wood. You don't want to have, and thirdly, whenever you're placing these, you to get the door to be level, so I put the door up and I hand screwed all these little screws in. And then you hold the door level and screw everything down. Some screws, like this one right here, is out a little bit more, but I had it too tight so the door was popping open and not shutting all the way. So this is something that you need, that you just have to be patient and fiddle with. And I will reiterate once more that keeping the hardware to the proper door in the proper spot made a tremendous difference in the ease of putting these doors back for this restoration. The cabinets and the rest of the house, I did not do that with, and I wanted to just scream. It was so frustrating to find the ones that would hang, because you can see all these doors are nice and level. Everything fits nice and tight the way it's supposed to. They did have an additional class. They had these magnetic bits also in their doors, but I'm not seeing why they have them, because these don't have a problem staying closed. So I chose not to reuse them. However, I'm going to keep them in their bag with the proper number. And I know that's door 1 and that's door 5, and I'm going to save these in case I ever need them, or in case I figure out why Lonnie and Faye put them on there. But I'm not going to let them go. I'm really happy that I saved this hardware. I think I truly in my heart believe stuff like this is worth saving. I truly believe that a house like this is worth saving, because no one else is going to have a home like this. No one else, when the tarps are off, nobody is going to have anything like this. And it's been a huge blessing to be able to build this home for my daughter and I. And so I hope my little tips help you be in.